Hello everyone, Digital Court Reporters. I thought I needed to make a video on this subject about large hearings, really large hearings. And here in Evidentiary Hearings, for example in Albany, New York, with some extra info on hotel, travel and food in Albany. So Evidentiary Hearings. I'm not going into the details on what an evidentiary hearing is about and what makes it different from other types of hearings. Rather, I focus on the in-person digital court reporting production difference in these large hearings. For example, this is a large hearing room and the parties' desk, chairs and built-in audio microphone system are already set up for this evidentiary hearing. You see many desks, chairs and microphones, and this room will be packed with people. Most of them will be speaking on the record and you will need to administer them as speakers and by name. Before the hearing starts, I always collect everybody's business cards or ask them to write down their contact info, and I also draw a seating chart to visually see everybody's name and who they represent. How to set up and what equipment you need to carry with you. As you see, this is the setup of the hearing room. The blue boxes represent the attorneys, who are either direct or cross-examining the witnesses, represented in the green box and sitting in front of them. A panel of judges, 2, 3 or more, are overseeing the examination. The court reporter is seated between them, facing the attorneys. In the first attorney row, you will find the company attorneys and the agency attorneys, and behind them attorneys to parties involved in the matter. And chances are all those 4 desks will be occupied and involved in the examination on the record, thus they will be speakers as well. And the green box represents the panel of witnesses, which could be 8, 9 or 10 people sitting over 3 desks, responding to questions raised by the attorneys. The court reporter is seated between them, facing the attorneys. I would recommend turning your desk 90 degrees or at least 45 degrees to be able to see everybody, including the witnesses, to know who is speaking. Otherwise, you will have to turn your head backward each time to see which witness responds to a question raised by an attorney, because it's not one witness who is examined solely, it is a panel of witnesses. It could be 8, 9 or 10 witnesses sitting over 3 desks to respond to questions raised by the attorneys. The hearing room have built-in audio system and cables on the floor, but you have no control over it, so you cannot use it. And also, you need to lay your system over it. Make sure that your cables are neat and tape them on the floor, otherwise there will be a mess of cables everywhere. Neatness is the key. This is an example where the court reporter's equipment is placed over it and to see how many cables are running on the floor. For the digital court reporter, the main questions are: how many microphones do I need? Where to place them? How long cables do I need to carry? How many voice splitters do I need? How to set up the microphones for the channel separation? And how many channels do I need to operate? You may use your own judgment and experience based on the equipment and situation you have. Here I can provide only a hint or something to consider in such large hearings. You may need 11 microphones, or if you have 11 microphones, you can set them up like this. If you have 10 microphones, you need to think about where to eliminate 1 microphone from. For example, maybe you have only 2 judges sitting in the judges panel, not 3, and they are sitting close enough to each other, or you have 6 people or less in the witness panel, or less attorneys are involved. Occasionally, you may only have 8 microphones with you because that is all you have. The question is how to set up the room with only 8 microphones. These are 2 examples of where to place the microphones. Once you decide on the microphones, next you need to think about the channels. How to place the microphones on those channels and where to place voice splitters. Depending on your equipment, you may be able to operate 4, 6 or more channels. This is an example of 6 channels, assuming the party representations are so. And here are 2 examples for a 4-channel setup. This shows the same by coloring the boxes instead of drawing circles around them. If your hearing is in Albany, the entrance to the agency buildings is from Madison Avenue or the parking garage. So now some information court reporters may consider when working in Albany: hotel, travel, and food. I believe the train is really convenient and it takes the same amount of time as taking a car, and you can work for the entire 3 hours, which is great. I think the bus is also convenient instead of taking a taxi from the train station. Buses run quite frequently in Albany, empty or almost empty, and it costs only $1.30 on the phone app. The 2 main hotels close to the work locations are Hilton and Hampton Inn Suites. Both are great. The main difference, I believe, is the breakfast. Whether you order the breakfast from the menu and pay for it, which will be your own expense, or the breakfast is included in the hotel fee and paid by a company as the hotel fee. Both hotels have microwaves in the room. Both hotels have microwaves in the room. If you stay longer than a day or few days or a week, you will think about where to dine, or rather where to buy food from. A great selection of food, essentially a supermarket. I think this is the best and closest supermarket in downtown Albany and open till 11 p.m. night. You could also walk there, passing by the Empire State Plaza, or by bus. It only takes 15 minutes from any of these hotels. And they also have pharmacy, cooked food, and even sushi. I hope you found this information useful and have a successful workday. Bye now.